Today we have a very special guest who I'm just so excited to yap with. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So, Vanessa, hi, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. I'm Vanessa Rissetto. I am the co-founder of CEO of Planet Health. I am also a registered dietitian. My parents were right. I should have been a doctor. And I'm here with you, who I love so much. New friend that I feel like I've known for 100 years.
So, Vanessa and I met this past when was it,
February.
February. February. For context, right now it's July when we're recording this. February at this amazing thing called Hoffman. And it is sometimes described as 10 years of therapy in 7 days.
Magical.
And it was like probably some of the best days that we've had, which you would not expect if you were like, oh, I'm going to go away for therapy for 7 days. But
It was like, it was this eye-opening experience, right? Like you're part of a collective. There's actually nothing unique about you. I got most vulnerable and real with these strangers that I don't know, but if any of them called me today and asked me for something, I would execute for them, no problem. And also, you're not distracted. You do not have ADHD. You spend too much time on your phone. That is it. I was like, oh, you know what? I sleep just fine. You want to know why? Because I have to journal because I have nothing else to do. I need to remove the thoughts from my brain and I cannot numb the thoughts that are in my brain. So I'm going to open up this journal. I'm going to write. And now there are no more thoughts in my brain.
for context, when we arrived at Hoffman, they took our cell phones from us, like straight out, just
Yeah.
no cell phones.
Sign 10, put your cell phone in this. That's it.
7 days, no cell phones, no music.
Yeah, that was weird for me because I listen to music all the time.
Yep.
So,
Because we're drowning out all the actual thoughts in our head.
yeah.
Who knew? So yeah, so we met at Hoffman and it was like one of the most incredible experiences. I highly recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
But I have my own reasons for going, lots of reasons. But tell me about your reasons. Like why did you go?
I
Or
have,
like the core reasons.
I have this really good friend, Tanisha. If you know, you know. People are watching this podcast, they know who Tanisha is. She used to be a soul cycle instructor. Now she's a tunnel instructor. And she is very dope. And she said this to me once, and I was like, yes. She was like, you know, you're just fucking tired of yourself. Yes, I do. And I was tired of myself. I was tired of not being able to get out of these patterns, always internalizing everything, like not, even though like doing so much therapy, like you were just like on this precipice of something and I needed like someone to push me over.
Totally.
And because it's 7 straight days working on yourself, like giving benefit of the doubt, you have to be kind to yourself, learning, like being reminded about forgiveness
Mhm.
and like that, you know, you're the one drinking the poison if you're saying that about, at people, right? It's like that. And so just having that concentrated time, you're like, oh, okay, fine. And so like when you come back into reality, it's not that you are perfect, but at least you can get out of the patterns faster. And I think like that was like the biggest takeaway. You acknowledge that and you're like, oh, this is why I'm doing this. And I'm either gonna like keep going down that left road or I'm gonna go back to this way. So yeah, it's a and people who've gone to Hoffman that you just there's a different
It's about it.
stage. Yeah. There's
A total different vibe.
uh
I think one of the interesting things was at Hoffman, it was so many people who kept saying, I wish I had done this before I had kids. What's interesting though is probably 75% of our group were divorced people, right? Like
yeah,
60%
yeah,
divorced and or remarried.
yeah, yeah.
And it didn't come up verbally. I didn't hear too many times about, I wish I had done this before I got married. Because also while we're there, by the way, we're not allowed to talk about our careers. So no one knew till afterwards
Point
that I was trying to build a company for prenups. No one knew that Vanessa was an absolutely incredible fighter. So our names, my name was Honey Buns. I did not know that my childhood nickname was going to be the name that I was going to be called for 7 days.
I like had a feeling, so I didn't put it down. I knew better. I was like, this feels wrong.
Yeah, Honey Buns.
Yeah.
By day two, I was like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But what's incredible is you really just get to know people for exactly who they are. And so I think one of the coolest takeaways was that everybody who was there is just trying to be better, get better, grow more, and either connect more intimately with the person that they are with, whether married or not married, or define who they are so they could show up to whatever that next relationship is in a better way, which is what I was trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to just get out of my own way. I was trying to see things as they really are. I was trying to, like, release that, like, martyr, like, thing. Like, it's like, "Oh, I see everything and I'll know that I'm taken, you know, and I'm the sufferer." And I'm just like, "What the f?" Like, why? You don't have to suffer. You're allowed to be happy. That was
You're allowed to be happy is such a good one for that.
yes, yes, you're allowed to be happy. So
Okay, so we met at Hoffman, but tell me, like, where did you grow up? Parents, all that jazz.
I grew up in Rockland County. If you're from Rockland County, you say that. Everybody from Rockland County says, "I'm from Rockland County." They do not say the town. It's a whole thing. So, like, mid Hudson Valley region. I went to Florida and then I went to NYU for grad school. My parents are, like, pretty tough. They're immigrants. You're only as good as your last mistake. My parents are, like, really accomplished. My dad is, like, one of the smartest people I know. Like, my dad's an engineer. He speaks many different languages. One time I had a birthday party and I had this crazy friend. She's, like, running around the house speaking, like, "I speak Italian, I speak Italian." So she starts speaking to my dad and she starts, like, saying a few words in Italian, and my dad starts talking to her, like, in fluent Italian, and she can't answer him, and then she comes to yell at me about why I didn't tell her that my dad spoke Italian. I'm like, "I'm so confused, like, why is this relevant?" She's like, "Well, I told everyone I spoke Italian, and I don't." I'm like, "You should heal. You need to talk to someone. Why are you lying?" So my parents are, like, really smart, really accomplished, and the all they want for their daughters, was to also be smart and accomplished.
Okay.
And, like, but, like, they my parents, like, terrorized me my whole life. Like, if I had an 89, they'd be like, "You're just gonna bag groceries at the A&P down Low Street." It's like, "Am I? Am I interested?" Surely.
Yeah.
Uh, they weren't bad parents. They're just, like, really hard and really critical, which is not a good thing. I do take a lot from them though, and then just, like, make it better. So, like, there is a frankness to which I speak to my kids with, right? It's like, "I have a job, you have a job. I'm gonna get you help. Your job is school, your job is to be kind. If you are not excelling somewhere, we can get you a tutor. Like, lying is not okay, and I'm not getting your water for you."
Foundation.
Foundational. But my kids, like, they get it. They're like, "We're not here to make you comfortable, and we gotta do these things." And I think, like, the thing about this is that my parents, like, nothing was good enough. Nothing was good enough. They never gave me the benefit of the doubt. That's a shitty way to grow up because then you're always looking for outside validation and you mute yourself because
Yeah.
there's nobody trying to empower you.
And about like women having like way that famous doctor who's been studying about women's and men's brains and like women have just great frontal lobes.
Right.
That's also why women are more like susceptible to depression and or anxiety because of just like men are quite literally physically in their brain are easy, it's easier for them to let things go.
Right.
As women, like we will ruminate on just
Every single thing.
every single thing. Yeah, until we've replayed it so many times.
Yeah. And my parents were good to like, that's who you are inherently. And then it was like, what are you doing? How are you wearing it? What are you like? What are the grades? So all the time, all the time, all the time. It's just like really like tough way to grow up. In hindsight, like, when you were in it, you're just like, "Oh, my parents are mean."
Your parents still married? Were married?
Yeah, they're still married. They have like a weird codependence.
That's a lot of couples, especially of that generation, I think.
Yeah, like they don't speak to each other with kindness.
Yeah, divorce is looked at as such a failure that it's better to stay in something miserable than it is to leave something and try to start over.
My parents do not support my divorce.
Yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. You guys get married, don't get a prenup.
No,
Okay.
don't get a prenup. I
Happened like when you were looking to get married, was it even a conversation at the time or was it just
no, because like, I'm sure my parents are sitting on like $20 million, but they'll tell you that they have nothing. So like, who fucking knows? Maybe they'll die and they'll leave it all to my kids, which is fine. I don't know. I grew up like you work and you don't ask anybody for anything, like, which is why my divorce went the way that it went because I would never like, oh, $150,000, $1 million divorce. Like, I don't have time for that. I'll swallow it. Just like get out of here. Yeah, yeah. And like the only thing that was on the table was that my in-laws gave us a very nice gift when we got married to buy our first apartment. But
before you guys got married, did you discuss your finances? Like clearly of like what you were coming into marriage with, what you weren't, or was it just a hey, right now, like how did you split your finances before you got married versus after marriage?
okay, I remember all of this. So we had a joint bank account. We neither of us had any debt. I had like a small student loan, but not anything crazy. Maybe I was paying like $165 a month. So it was like, okay, fine. And That was it. And I got into grad school to be a dietitian, but okay, fine. Then, like, one month or whatever, I just, like, paid the bills. So it was, like, credit card bill, it was, like, $3,000, and he freaked out. Like, "How can you have a credit card bill that's $3,000, and what are you spending money on?" And he's like, and then he stopped putting money in our joint account, and he wouldn't give me, like, real visibility, and then he would, like, drip money to me. I was responsible in paying the rent to the landlord. And let's say he was gonna give me $2,500 a month. If I spent $100 on the credit card for clothes for myself, he would then give me $2,400. Like, this is like, my daughter was born, and maybe, like, 5 days later, I went to work in the hospital per diem.
So do you think that one of the things like during marriage that was really challenging and probably contributed to like the breakdown was financial differences of how you spend money, how you save money, how you even just, I guess, balance it?
Yeah, he made it that I was hiding money and hiding what I would spend money on. And it was so stupid. It's like I go to the grocery store and I throw the receipt in the trash before I get to my house. And I'm like, we eat every meal at home. Well, it doesn't. We order out pizza once a week. Like, we're not. This is okay. And so then I would, like, in retaliation, be pissed off, and then I would spend, like, overspent because I was pissed and, like, and resentful. It's like, gave me a hard time about every single thing. So it was not good.
Do you, something that I've been talking to a lot of people about is, do you think if you had better financial transparency into everything, right? Like the whole picture and you understood what was coming in, what was coming out, and that you could have these discussions more frankly, that like it would have helped your marriage, your balance, and your
Yeah,
relationship?
yeah, like, if he had said to me, "Vanessa, I do not feel comfortable if the credit card is more than $4,000 a month." I would have been
And but also this is why, because this is what's coming in and what's going out.
totally, but it's just his own anxiety. Like, I want to collaborate with you. I want to be in partnership with you. The credit card bill cannot be more than $4,000. Cool. Got it. Copy. Check.
Do you, I mean, this is also a really hard question to ask because I think like everything's so subjective and life the way it is. So you don't, you can't be definitive, I guess, about this. But do you think that one of the major like reasons that you guys ended up getting divorced was because of financial differences and or resentment and or not be spending the same way or being more like clear with each other about how to spend, how to save, what is worth money and what is not worth money?
Yes, and it for me, it is the resentment. All of those things brought the resentment. Like, I'm not helping you pay back your student loan because I came into this marriage with no debt, so your debt is yours. This is not my problem. You figure this out. Like, I can't. You freak out so much that I'm afraid to come to you with something for the kids or whatever. So, because you'll freak out and you'll say no. So I just handle everything on my own. And that makes me resent you. And you didn't care. And I wasn't worth it because I would be like, yo, let's go to therapy. It's just, nope. And instead of him going to therapy by himself or with me, it would be like, oh, your therapy seems to be working for you. So
It's like glad that it's working for you, but like I'm good.
yeah, yeah.
With it. Also a difference, I think, between like this is a perfect example of are we growing together, are we growing apart?
Yeah.
And it there's a difference between I was just talking to someone that's going through something where she is actively in therapy and he is paying for it, fully linked in, but he himself is not going to therapy. And it's just like,
Yeah, but what's the point here? How is this gonna get better?
mhm.
Yeah, he just seemed to, like, not care, and then I got cancer, and then you know what the inflection point was for me? I got cancer, they're like, "You have to do chemo," then I was like, "I don't wanna lose my hair," they're like, "Okay, fine, you can do this treatment," and I was like, "Okay," and then I found the doctor who, like, created that protocol, and I got like, they called me and they were like, "You can come to see her, but you have to see her in Boston." So I was like, "Yo, Michael, I'm getting on a plane, I'm going to Boston."
Yes.
And he was like, "But I thought you already decided you were gonna do that treatment, like, how much is that plane ticket?"
No.
And And when we talk about this in therapy or whatever, because yes, I go to therapy with my ex-husband, and he's like, "Well, you didn't want me around." Because, I mean, there I can tell you stories. Like, I went to the hospital with my husband early on in our marriage, like left me there till late at night, stayed at work while at hospital. That's a different story. And I was like, he's like, "Yeah, because you spend money." And I was like, "Yeah, but like you weren't like, hey Vanessa, I don't want to spend money on a flight, but I'm gonna drive you to Boston. I'll drive you there. I'll wait for you." Like,
Yeah, but also when it comes to like certain things like cancer, like you don't even think about the number.
don't
The
mean
number actually disappears.
this.
The number does not exist. The limit does not exist. Like I remember when my dad was really sick and he only had Medicare. And so every time he went to chemo or radiation, it was a bill.
Yeah.
And I always say that I think that it was the bills that killed him, not the cancer,
Yeah.
because it just adds up. But you know what? You keep going and you figure it out at the end because like it's your life.
Well, I knew in that moment, I was like, he doesn't care about my peace of mind. He doesn't care that I'm so stressed the out. He doesn't care that I actually need this physician researcher to look me in the face and say, which she did say, if I were you, and like right now, we're the same age, I have two kids, I would do this exact treatment. So you can put your head on your pillow at night knowing that I believe that this is the right thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, I needed that. And you could give a and so like that just illuminated all of that for me. And then at one point he was like, if you don't divorce me, then we can sell our apartment and you can take a sabbatical and I'll pay your student loan back. And I was like,
Wait. Okay. Let's unpack that first.
yeah.
If you don't, so you had said I want a divorce.
Yeah, we were in therapy. I had the mediator and whatever, and then we had this like full conversation. And he was like, "Well, if you don't want to get divorced, then we can sit." Because I was like, "You don't support me. This shit about money." Like when we were getting divorced, like sitting down to do a budget, he like sits down next to me and he like freaks out. I'm like, "Why are you freaking out? We need to go through this budget and just like talk through it. This is the problem. This is how you present instead of coming." To be like, okay, let's have a conversation. And this is
Was that one of the first times that you guys have actually sat down next to each other?
Yeah.
To talk about finances.
That's right.
And you were actually deciding to.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Why?
That's right. And now he actually does see like, oh, she wasn't spending money on bullshit. She was spending money on our fucking kids. Because I'm like, these kids need these things. And it's not like, fucking diamonds and Lululemon. It's like, this kid needs an executive functioning coach, 20 hours or whatever it costs, this much, right? It's like, this is what she needs. And now
He sees that.
he sees it and he's like, oh, okay. Like, I got it. And it's like, okay, yeah. And his whole thing is like, okay, well, if the kids need things and you spend $3,000 on the kids, then you should spend $200 on yourself. And I'm like, in what fucking universe does that even make sense? What universe?
Also, like, what's he spending?
If he wants to buy something, he buys it. He is not a big spender, but if he wants to buy something, he doesn't question. And everything else he questions. Like he makes pizza from scratch. So 1 year for Christmas, because I bought thoughtful gifts, I bought him one of those Oni pizza ovens for $399. And he got mad and put it in the storage and never used it. This past weekend, he went to see his brother. His brother was using it. And he's like, oh, remember the one that my dad got me? I go, no, I got it for you. And you got mad and put it in the storage. And he was like, yeah, well, the new me is done. I was like, I'm so glad you're all healed. You're welcome. Welcome.
Grace.
Grace. Yeah. Balance. Yeah, it's good. I'll do this as long as you're happy.
Okay. So you guys, this is one of my favorite things because I've talked to a lot of couples and then divorced friends in this past year, ever since this kind of started developing. Not only did you have one of the cheapest divorces that I've heard of,
Yeah.
but you and your husband or ex-husband seem to have a pretty damn good relationship, friendship, co-parenting, whatever you want to call it, balance post-divorce. How did you, let's first talk about the divorce itself and then how you got to where you got.
Yeah. Started with a mediator. Then I found a receipt that said like $151,000 for an ATM. And I was like, so I got a lawyer. She was like, you have to like, he used to pay me alimony for X amount. And I was like, okay, I think he's supposed to pay me 9 years. I agreed to 6 and revisit in 2, right? You gotta like do a bunch of negotiation because ultimately I wanted to get the
All negotiation.
all negotiation. And what was the most important thing to me? I wanted to stay in my house. And so if I got him to get out of the house, then I could have room to think and breathe and then figure out, okay, now I have X amount of time to buy him out. And if we decide that doesn't happen, like whatever, it's like December 2026, then we will sell it and split it. And so he pays like, I don't know, $1,500 a month towards the house because, he stands to profit off. Total. Anyway, so like fine. And then he was a little bit turned up when I got a lawyer, but I was like, yo, you can hide money from me. He's like, it was there invisible for you. I was like, bro, it was not there invisible for you. And I had cancer. You never once were like, hey, girl, stay home. Like, we got this. Like, nah. And you better be careful because if I take my ass to fucking family court and the judge sees my rational, upstanding person self sitting here, you're going to get he's not going to like it. He's going to hear the words that come out of my mouth and it's going to be validated and you will be in a big trouble. So bring it down. And he's going to see how nice I am. It's not going to be it. So there's that. So then it was like, okay, get him out of the house. So the mediator and the lawyers like did their little magic. And then he, got him parked up the block, even though he comes to my house all the time. So I'm like, out of here. We share a car. Like, guys, like I'm keeping it a buck. But the most important thing was I was not going to overspend the retainers. So like $5,000 to my lawyer, $5,000 to $10,000 to the mediator, and $5,000 to his lawyer. I was like, that's it. Like you better figure it out. And I'm not talking to these lawyers ever again. Even though I started the business to pay back my student loan that he was
that part of the divorce settlement.
Yeah. I was like, I got to get him out. And it was like, okay, so, but what happens is, well, here's the thing. I'm happy to give you money. And yes, it was because it would happen while we were married. Like, I'm not saying that you didn't do anything
and contribute to like the whole and the life,
all of the things.
Yes.
But it wasn't free. Starting this business to pay back my student loan, and I took VC dollars. So my student loan is not paid back. I had cancer and never stopped working. I handle your kids for the first 10 years of their lives. I didn't. He's an excellent father. He was there on the weekends or whatever, but on a Friday at 8 o'clock, you're not home. What are you doing? Like, you're doing advertising sales. Like, but okay, whatever. I don't call you at work. I'll ask you, do anything for me. That. So like, get out, leave me at my house, give me some time. Yes, but like we're in therapy in the last therapy session that we had, I was like, we need to come to some kind of agreement involving lawyers, a handshake between all of us. It says that I hold it in a trust, so I'll put it in a trust and the kids. For the kids. And every dollar I spend on the kids will come from here. And whatever's left over, you and the kids can split it a third, a third, and a third.
Yeah, I think that's great.
That's fair and reasonable. And listen, if I die tomorrow, Lily, all my goes to him. Everything. Like,
because he'll be managing for the kids.
And he is not going to spend money on like drugs, sex, and women. Like he is not a bad or crazy person. So that makes it easier. And also like, I just want my kids to have like like a view of like a positive relationship. So like, oh, they're going to be like, oh, my parents are divorced, but like, I don't know, we go to the beach together and we do this together. And they didn't work out, but they love us and they do love each other so that they then can have like healthy relationships. And they know that they don't have to lie and make themselves small to make anybody comfortable. I have said to my kids, when you lie, the lie gets bigger and no one can help you. If it's your wedding day and you want to marry somebody, just tell me, we can leave. Literally, we can leave. I don't care. Because I'd rather you do that there than end up with crazy like, people, everybody's fighting when money's on the table. Not everybody is so nice. They get really bad. So you got to be careful.
I mean, you and I have kind of thought this what. Yeah. Yeah, you and I we've chatted about this before, and she's like, divorce can turn some of the best people into the worst versions of themselves. And it's never like, usually the adults still don't win, even if they think they're winning, and the kids just suffer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will say one of the things that I really admire about, I mean, listen, no divorce is easy.
No, it's very sad.
It is.
I cry every week in therapy. I don't really want to be divorced. I don't want my kids to, I feel like it's like, it must be painful for them, even though like, they're fine, right? Like, they're like, whatever, these people are fine. Everyone's okay. Like, our lives aren't changing. But like, that's not what you want for your family.
Yeah, you don't go into a marriage thinking you're going to get divorced.
Yeah,
So one of the biggest misconceptions I've heard about prenups in the past few months, oh, well, like if you sign a prenup, you're setting yourself up for your divorce.
No, but I've heard that like I saw a divorce lawyer the other day. He was like, if 80% of my clients do prenups, like maybe only 10% of that cohort gets divorced. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me. It's clear. It's very, very, very clear. So there's no confusion here.
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear me drop this in so many different ways on, the socials, on these pods, but it is, statistically, whether it's causation or correlation proven, is that having a prenup reduces the rate of divorce or the possibility of divorce. And I think there's a variety of reasons, but if you were to get married again, would you get a prenup and why?
First of all, I would get a prenup because many people I have a lot of doctors in my life and a lot of lawyers, and all of my lawyer family, they're like, girl, you're lawyered up. Like, nope, you are in a different phase. Absolutely not. Even my estate attorney, this guy Preston, he's so good. I love him so much. He's like, oh, like I'm dating someone. He's like, okay, we're gonna do like I have trusts and okay, and then I have all these godchildren and all that. And he's like, listen, this boyfriend of yours, his kids' names are nowhere to be found here. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, if you want to buy them something, you want to send them to college, you could just straight up write a check. But these people have ex-wives that think that you're rich because you're on television. We're not doing it. And you must have a pre. He's like, I'm going to be right off into the sunset with this mother with a prenup. I'm like, thank you so much. Yes. Yes. So I mean, I would be disowned. People would, like, my friends would go, show us the prenup. Like, give it to us.
Do you okay, so you in your friend group,
Yeah.
what is like a lot of people still married, a lot of people divorced, prenups, no prenups, like kind of what's the
Okay. It's like 50-50 of people if they're married or not or divorced.
okay.
So like feels like pretty standard. You're at this phase where like someone calls you, they're like, I'm getting divorced. You're like, oh, okay. So there's that. No one I know has a prenup. I know that I have a friend who unfortunately passed away. His family tried to impose a prenup on the now ex-wife, who I'm like very close to, whatever. And she saw it as an affront. Like she was like, oh my God, like this is terrible. And when they ended up getting divorced, yo, they fucking took her down. Like, not okay. Like $150,000. Like people richer than rich. She has $150,000 divorce bill. Like, what the hell? And I don't think she ever got any money from him when he was still alive because all of his money and all of his phones, all of his things protected in a trust.
Do they have kids?
They have kids. They have 2
Oh,
kids.
God.
But, like, it's okay, like, everybody's okay, and, like, he died, and it's really sad, but, like, the hit like, her and his family, like, we were at the beach with, like, everybody the other day, and it was, like, very nice to all be together. But that being said, and I don't know all the details, but I remember her being like, "They want me to sign a prenup," and I remember saying, like, okay, but like these people work really hard for their money and it's a negotiation. Like you get stuff. So just like get a lawyer to do it. And she was like, no, Vanessa, I cannot. But we were young, right? Like 26. And
Did she not sign it?
she didn't sign it.
And it actually screwed her.
I think it screwed her. Yeah. Because she had no protection. So that's what I
She
think.
also probably didn't have any insight.
Exactly. You're 26 years old. Your parents are immigrants. And it's like, well, if you divorce this person, because her parents are immigrants too, you don't need anything from them.
I also had someone tell me recently, "Oh, I'm not gonna get a prenup because I want to, if I get divorced from my husband, take everything of his." And I was like, "That guy definitely has a bunch of trust. So you think you're gonna walk away with money? You will walk away with nothing."
Literally nothing. Everything I have, being a founder.
Like the opposite of
Yeah.
what you think a prenup does.
Yeah, like being a founder and having all of these potential assets and like everyone trying to protect them for you and like everyone seeing like, oh, like actually your net worth is $50 million. I'm like, in what? Where is that bank account? Someone give it to me. I'm like, they're like, put this in the trust, this, and this. So yeah, you will get very, very. So I don't see that a prenup is a problem. I don't think that it's an indictment on your relationship. I think it just takes all of that stress off of you.
Mhm.
And then like, oh, it's fine. This guy's gonna pay me $60,000 for 5 years after we get divorced, and I could stay in my house. Like you just said all that from the jump, so you don't have to worry. Yes.
Also, vice versa. It's not just, like the man and the woman.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times the women are maybe just as much, if not more than their spouses these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if I I would have held my business in a different way. But I never really thought, I mean, sometimes I'll lay in my bed and be like, I'm gonna sell my business. I'm
Your investors ask you if you had a prenup or a postnup?
no, no. Mm.
Okay.
That's like as far as investors go, one time I was watching like Summer House and Kyle Cook was like, my investors asked me if I had a prenup. I was like, bull. You're first of all, no one's asking you that because you're a fucking Kyle Cook and you're a boy. And I know him, so you're a boy, Kyle. Goodbye. But I wonder if you're like in unicorn status and you're like really getting like a lot of money, but it doesn't affect the investor. The
Yeah.
investor has their like 1x or 2x preference. They get paid, and then however you live your life, you live your life. But the investors are very good to put these fancy lawyers in front of you to make sure that you are taken care of. So
Mhm,
do with that what you want. I think that's their whole like get a
mhm.
prenup if you need one kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know, the other thing that I know you and I have also chatted about because I needed a prenup for my prenup business. We all could joke about it now. A whole year later,
yes,
you kind of had something similar, right? Where your operating agreement with your original business co-founder was not maybe the most thought out or thoroughly like looked at. Do you, going into the future, if you're going to start another business, et cetera, like, are you also going to look at that as difference? Because it's kind of a marriage, right? You're really like teaming up with this person. And
yeah, you need to vet out your own startup lawyer and then like for the business and then who is the person either in there or who is like the partner that works with you, who are they referring you out to make sure that you are like properly taken care of because you could wake up tomorrow and they took your business from you. And that is we see that happening all the time. So very, very careful. Like you as the anchor to the business should have your own employment contract that the business has agreed to. And then every time if you're raising capital, every round, you need to make sure that that is airtight.
I had someone recently tell me that because, as you know, I've been, doing the CTO,
Yeah.
engineer dating
Yeah.
in New York. And someone said the best way to find the right partner in business is to spend quality time with that individual's husband or wife.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be spending as much time with them, if not more,
Yeah.
than their
Yeah.
partner, like who they're in a relationship with.
Yeah.
And how do they treat that person? Like marriage, right? Which is, you're never going to, why would you ever marry someone that you didn't think you were going to be with forever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, why would you start business with something you didn't think you were going to ride into the sunset with on some unicorn
Yeah.
valuation and
Yeah.
Excel and
Yeah.
have this happy, dandy life?
No, I tell everyone, I'm like, you don't need a co-founder. They're like, what? I'm like, no, you just need a good leadership team. You don't need a co-founder. Get out of here. Like, oh, I'm like, I'm just telling you because people they break up all the time, and it can be very unpleasant. So get it together. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
No,
mean, like, moral of all this is break up suck. No matter if it's with someone you work with, someone you're married to, someone you love.
have your papers.
Yeah. And have your insight and your knowledge.
Do you think that it's people are just nervous about what it's going to cost? Do you think it's going to cost like $1 million, or do you think it is? If I have a prenup, then like this means we don't love each other.
I think it depends on who it is, right? Because so many people have been like, oh, I don't want to spend $20,000 to $30,000 on it. Like, just had someone text me. I wish I wasn't recording on my phone, but they just texted me the other day and were like, hey, is $30,000 a standard number for like a bill for a prenup? And I was like, yeah, actually it is right now. The way that law firms are set up today, yeah, that's totally
Yeah, because it's because all this back and forth.
and however much like if you go to a certain law firm and that lawyer is like $1,000 an hour, right? It's like not it. Are you kidding me? Even if it is a simple prenup,
Yeah.
right? And then you get into the other layers, like, oh, if it's a really complicated prenup and we have to actually spend more hours on this, your bill could keep going up. But that is like one of the things. So there is the barrier to entry, which is just the cost of it. Because say you're a dual income couple, you're making 250 to 300,000 a year, and you're just numbers from New York. You go into it and you're like, oh, wait, I'd rather spend that 20 or $30,000 on a down payment on an apartment, a car, or I don't know, my wedding because I've invited everyone and their mother. So I know, but it's like, the reality is that small investment up front, small or large at the time, that investment up front is going to save you so much more down the road.
100%. And I don't want to think about this again.
Yeah, but that's like, that is it, right? Which is if you spend the money now, the short-term investment and the long-term investment.
Yeah.
And the hope is that you're never going to even think about it, right?
Never. But like now, actually, I'm gonna think about it. It's gonna be like, oh, if Vanessa dies, all of her life insurance policy goes to her kids. So new husband, you can't kill me. It's not gonna go to you anyway, right? Like just like putting in all of those mechanisms and seeing that it's like very airtight. And then it's like, okay, if this is what's in front of you, you're not gonna get me to figure out anything else. And hopefully we can ride off into the pasture. But if not,
When you got married,
2006.
okay, when you got married, did you, when you signed your marriage contract, did you read what it said? Like when you went in and actually signed your marriage certificate?
No, what does it say?
Exactly.
I don't even know. Like I gotta look.
It's been so crazy. I have not had one person tell me that they actually read what their marriage license said, whichever state they got married. Oh, look.
I have no idea.
So what's so interesting to me is, I was just talking to someone about this. You know how, you go to workouts, do all these things, and you sign these release of liabilities, and like no one reads it.
Yeah.
But if you go to buy a house, or if you're buying a car, or whatever it is that you're doing, like you read it. You're like, oh shoot, or you have a lawyer read it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That part.
Mhm.
Mhm.
This is exactly,
Yeah.
you know,
It's so funny. That is, yeah. Yeah. You're just like, because you're just like hopped up on the whole, like, I'm getting married. It's my turn. Like, actually, like, if I ever get married again, it's going to be in the woods by myself with my partner. And I don't even think I would tell people. Maybe just like even come over and I'd be like, oh, yeah, we got married. And you'd be like, wait, what? Like, why? I don't know. No, 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 no. It's just it'll be late for me, so I will probably read the marriage license then. Yeah, yeah. Wow, fascinating.
uh
I know because we all just we're so indoctrinated into the patriarchy. We cannot help ourselves. It's like I only have value if I'm married,
totally.
and I'm a woman. I need to be married, and I have to have kids, and then I will have worth.
Yeah, and listen, like you and I have chatted about this. Like, I would love to get married one day and have a wonderful family and build something stable and never get divorced.
Yeah,
One of the reasons I'm starting this business is because of my parents' divorce, and it was such a mess, and it turned the best people into like the worst versions of themselves. Um, and I would like to never get divorced,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's inconvenient.
It's very inconvenient.
So inconvenient on so many levels, like, just, like, the assembling of all the documents.
Totally awesome. Also, like, I would like to be in my 70s, hopefully sitting on a really nice beach, holding hands, playing crossword puzzles with my significant other who I've gone through the ups and downs with.
That's right.
But life is really hard. Marriage is really hard. And I would like to know who I'm truly going into marriage with, not, the guy that I dated for a year or two who I thought was everything and more. And then when you really get into it, you're like, wait, actually, we have really different financial outlooks. We have very different future goals. Like, what does cohabitation mean beyond just renting a place together?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly, exactly. Yes, like, are you me? Are you sloppy? Do you do laundry? Do you know how to clean a toilet? These are important things.
I was just talking to a friend who's married and they have a 3-year-old. And he is very successful and charming and wonderful, and his wife is a gem. And he was having a complete meltdown about how expensive schools are in the city.
Yeah, get out of the city.
But what I know it's crazy was like, oh, I don't want to leave the city. Well, but this is it, right? These are conversations you should have before you get married. Where do you want to live? Do your kids have to go to private school? Do you know how much that's going to cost? Oh, you want to have more than one kid? Sounds great. Do you know how much that costs? Like, these are the ebbs and the flows. Okay, if we're gonna have 2 kids, are we gonna stay in New York in a 1 bedroom that's we've like converted into a fake
Right.
2 bedroom? Or are we going to look at our finances and say, instead of buying a house in New Jersey, where we need to buy another car, etc., and where one of us actually has to stay home because we can't commute into the city for, well, for or whatever it might be. What does this all look like? And so many people aren't having these conversations till they're in the thick of it.
Well, many people have avoidant behaviors. Like my boyfriend, I love him, but like the other day, he was like, "I just have so much stuff to do and I'm overwhelmed." I'm like, okay, great. Let's talk about things that you have to do. And I was like, here, I feel so satisfied when I write everything down and then I cross it off. And so I helped. I was like, here, I am going to be your executive functioning coach. And I like did it. And then he was like, I've never felt so good. I was like, yeah, bro, deal with your oh my god. And so, so yeah, so I'm like, I don't think it's confrontation. I just want to like talk about things. And like, I want to know. It is a control thing, but I also want to know, like, what are you thinking about this? Like, how do you want? Would you like this or not that? Or like, and I have this experience with many men in my life that you bring it up and they look at you like you have 10 heads. You're like, I just want to talk about it. It's not, we don't have to commit to it, but I just want to know how your brain works.
It's also kind of like, it's not happening right now, right? This is all theoretical. And also maybe in 3 years it's totally different. Maybe we don't live here, or maybe like our income's different. Yeah, if it was, what does it look like? In business, you do scenario planning all the time.
Yes, you have your Excel spreadsheets and stuff. But I mean, my fucking director of finance was like, yo, if we only grow this much, then our runway is this. If we grow this much, our runway is that. Like, all the freaking time. So do it.
Yeah,
Why can't I ask the questions?
because people are so scared of the answers. And that's the biggest thing I think we need to change, right? Like, I'll be the first to admit it. When I had my first real long term relationship, there were questions I wanted to ask, but I didn't actually want to know the answers because I knew that the answers blew up what I
Yeah.
thought or how I wanted it to go.
And the idealized version of him or your relationship would be
Mhm.
gone. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, if you can't ask this before you get married,
Don't get married.
don't get married, and or your marriage is gonna
Yeah.
not be great.
Yeah. 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 Well, I didn't ask any questions when in my marriage to help you. I think
I'll help you.
I'm gonna help you. I asked him a question the other day and he was like, ah, and I go, see your reaction here? I asked you a question and your answer was sufficient to me. And I am not talking about it anymore. The end.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I was like, there are ways to give feedback, right? So like, or ask questions. And so you should listen to what I'm saying. And if I'm not berating you, putting you down, I'm just simply asking a question. It's not leading. Like you are smart enough to suss that out, then we're okay. And I don't get to repay the debts of like the previous part.
Yeah. I know you said that like you didn't ask questions before your last marriage, really. Like you just went into it. If like what would be, like one or two questions, not even related to finance, but just like lifestyle that you would have asked your partner if you could have.
You know what? I don't think that I think that you'll hear something from that person that you love that brings something up for you, and that's where you ask the question. So it's like, oh, I cheated on everyone before I married my wife, and I didn't cheat on her, but I got divorced from her. It's like, why do you think you were always cheating? What was that about? What did these people provide for you? Right? Like I'm just it's the words people don't say, maybe, or that sort of thing. I think I can get down with most things. It's about the respect. So like my wouldn't clean up after itself. And I go, like, can you just like this stresses me out when I go home and my house isn't organized. But it was always about proving like that I was crazy and I was like too high strung because I wanted the house clean. And I'm like, I'm not asking you to bleach when you come home. I'm asking you to like hang up your coat, put your shoes in the front hallway. So and why are my feelings not also like care like you don't care that this
Also,
bothers
that's something that's so small that you can control.
right.
Whereas like the world is chaotic. There's so many things you can't control, but you can control if your home is clean
Right.
and organized.
Right. And I think I can go even farther. It's like I was never like, you have to make $500,000 a year. That's where you have like worth. Like I like gave him the space and the love to do the things that he thought was important, but he didn't extend that same thing to me. And like that's the problem. That's the problem. Like, yo, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I held the down. Like
No one's perfect.
no one's perfect.
And you and I have talked about
Yeah.
that. And it's like someone the other day said this, which I felt so great. It's about finding harmony with your partner.
100%. I want a partner to lead. I want you to like you see where I'm strong and then you say like, "Hey Vanessa, I'm not good at cleaning up or whatever, but if you put this system in place for me, I will do it." Like, "Okay, great. I'm going to do that for you." Like it's okay, but I'm not attacking you as a human. You could be a garbage collector if you're happy and like it's fine. Like what are the rules of engagement? Let's come to a common ground. I want to collaborate with you. I am not a child that needs to be, taught or like I'm just trying to be in partnership with this person.
This was a question that someone recently brought up, which I would love to ask you because it just feels like something that you'd be really good at answering, is how do you reconcile the romantic idea of forever with the reality that sometimes marriage ends?
I think it's that thing that I was saying to you earlier, right? Where I said it just didn't work out. And if I'm being honest, and if all of us were being honest, you knew before you got married that it wasn't going to work out, and you went and did it anyway. You knew what was wrong. You knew that there were the flags. You didn't think that somebody would love you enough. You thought you were running out of time. You thought this is the only person that was gonna wanna marry you, have a baby with you. Those are the things because you didn't love yourself enough. And so, like, that's the work of the work.
It's like the classic, it's the person at the right time, not the right person. And it's like, why would you do this?
Exactly. Exactly. You knew the whole time. Like, so many people are like, I was cheating before I got married. It's like, and we're here now? Like, no, we're here. And it's like, right? Like, but you were in it. You had to please your parents. That's the thing. That's why I tell my kids, you don't have to please anyone but yourselves. Be kind, but being clear is being kind. And so if before I married you, I fessed up and said, this isn't it,
Being clear is being kind. I love that.
being clear is being kind. Just tell the truth. And you'll see that people don't care or they were feeling the same way. They're so relieved that you brought it up. They didn't want to bring it up because they didn't want to disappoint, but you, you knew from the beginning. So I think it's about loving yourself and like believing that you deserve more than what you have. So many people are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you got divorced." Somebody called me up and they were like, "You and I don't have the same friend group, and I really admire you. I hate my husband and I want to divorce him." And I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "Okay, I'll hold your secret. Let me know if you ever want to talk. I don't know what to say here."
It just makes me so sad. It's sad. It's like I mean, this is the I had another person recently kind of he was like, well, blah, blah, blah. I think you really, you're celebrating divorce and divorce is just you're making divorce easy. And my whole thing is like, no, actually, I don't want people to get divorced. The whole reason I don't want this prenup company is because I'd rather prevent marriages from happening that shouldn't happen because you're not aligned. Because if you're going to get married and then you're going to bring children into the world, you are bringing other beings into a problem that you already maybe knew you shouldn't actually be engaging in. And so it's like, if anything, I'd rather talking about prenups and having these premarital conversations prevents you from going down a path that more people are impacted because of your decisions or the reality of you couldn't actually make a tough decision to say this isn't the right person.
And when it becomes so acrimonious and people are nasty to each other. They're spending millions of dollars to get divorced. Like when you're spending millions of dollars to get divorced, I guess like you don't give a about money, but for the rest of us, like you're taking away from your kids. And also you're like actually taking away like the joy of like family. Like you could still give
You're
your
just like being present with the kids even if you're not together anymore because you're just dragging it out.
you're dragging it out. People are like, I thought I took the kids to church together. It's a trying time. Let me do it.
You do it because you love them and because you want the best for them.
Yeah, like he picks up
And because it's not their fault you're divorced.
correct. Like,
It's not their fault.
the other day I was like really just like whatever, going through it. Not I was like, I can't deal. I was like, Michael, you need to come here. He like came over, made food. We had dinner as a family, and then he took the dog home. Like I was with a bunch of divorced women, and this one woman was like, I had a blood clot, and my ex-husband told me it sounded like a you problem. I was like, what the I had COVID and the flu, and I'm like, Michael, he's coming out. Like
Sounds like a huge
yeah. I was like, what? This guy came and like brought me like, all the provision, like all checked on me. Like he wasn't like, good luck, right? Like
you're the mother of his children.
correct. And like I was a good mother and I was a good wife. Like I did a lot and I didn't ask for anything. I just wanted someone to care about me.
I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was someone from Hoffman, or no, it wasn't someone from Hoffman. It was someone else I met who he's divorced and he calls his ex-wife the mother of my son. And it is so the way he's like, the way he rephrased it about, it was a financially, it was a hard divorce for him. No prenup. He's spending a lot of money on his ex-wife.
Yeah.
But I've never heard him once like say anything bad about her, even though the reason they got divorced was multiple reasons,
Yeah.
never one thing, but it was
Yeah.
multiple reasons that could give somebody a lot of anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing that he always says is, so I see the mother of my son. And I think it's so wonderful because you can tell that even if their marriage didn't work and they did not work as a couple, his respect for her as the mother, like,
Yeah.
we did this together. Yes, this is the greatest thing that we've ever done. Our child is the priority. And that's also why he was able to say, you know what? Yeah, this is a insane amount of money that I'm going to be giving you per month. It is actually
Yeah.
money. But for him, he was just like,
Yeah. Like whatever. As long as
I don't want to fight, and I want you to have access to my kid, and I want us to just be good. And I'm like, I'm gonna go date. You're go date. We're gonna figure out our next chapter.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I hear people say things about their exes, and it's like, never talk about me like that. Never. Like, and I are like, we angel invest together. Like we, it's like, I don't know. The only person I really could trust with money, even though he's crazy about it, is this guy. So like,
Totally.
it's fine. Like it.
Hoffman thing is the greatest blessing and the greatest curse are like our patterns.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I always think God bless Michael Rosetto. We're not going to be destitute in the street, and also know, I don't have to buy unisex shoes for the older kid so that the younger kid can use them. Like, we're okay.
Oh my gosh.
You need to talk to someone about this. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you could imagine like your perfect prenup, not just with the financial stuff, but what would be other things that you would want to talk about or discuss before you got married?
Like where we're gonna live. Like, if we have kids together and we get divorced, like, I don't know, you can't buy something more than this distance. And like, how are we, like, the kids, like, one week on, 1 week off. That's good. And being close is good. So my kids come to my house every day. They're in my house every day. Everyone's in my house every day, actually. So there's that. Everybody comes. So if he doesn't have the kids, he's by himself. Oh, fine. But they're, how close so that you can do things together. Like, right? Like, you can, this whole, like, I'm like, my dad lives in Arizona and I live here and I just see him all summer. Like, just, that's not good. That's not good. You should be able to just, like, everybody, like, come and go as you please, so the kids feel normal and good and loved. Yeah. Yeah. Loved. My kids feel loved.
That's obvious. And they're
Thriving.
yeah.
Most people are thriving. Like, we're on the group text and on the thing, and people don't even. Some people don't know that we're divorced, or they're like, "You're the model for divorce."
No, truly.
And I'm like, I just been out before, but yeah, we can show up together.
But that's also like I even think healthier than being in something that you really are resentful of.
Hmm.
Right. And in a way, maybe you feel more free now to tell them exactly how you feel because you're like,
Yeah,
we had a divorce.
yeah, well, we have this therapist, and because Michael's like, well, I know what I did to get us here, but I don't want to talk about it. And she's like, actually, the only way for you to move forward is to unearth the things. And I'm like, let's go. Yeah, yeah, because I have so much stored in this memory bank. And well, this bitch, she's gonna tell me everything. But he's okay. He's taking it right now. We're getting better. Less yelling. Yeah, we do. I love him for sure.
Just not as your husband, just
As my
father of your children.
yes.
Okay. Any parting wisdom about women founders getting prenups?
Get a prenup. Listen to me right now. First of all, you get an employment contract. Even if you don't have a founder, but a co-founder, you've got board member. Listen to me. Somebody could go to your board and be like, this person is not fit. And you were building this company, growing at 100% year over year, and they call a freaking board meeting, shareholder shit, and you don't have a job. So just make sure that you get paid. I have a very good employment contract. Like, you can get rid of me all the lot, but you will have to pay me. So maybe that's why we're all still together in this co-founder. Take care of that. And with your prenup, doesn't have to be crazy, guys. Just like, right now, if I were to get married, I'd be like, okay, Kulina is mine, and all the money from Kulina is mine, and I would put all of that money in my kids' names and my name, and so that if something were to happen to me, it only goes to them.
Okay. I guess, I think this is actually a good spot to like wrap it up. Because you and I could talk forever.
I know, you're my favorite.
Really want to go get dinner.
Okay, yeah, let's go eat.
Okay.
I love Lily. She's the best person. If you don't know her, I'm sorry for you, but she's all ours, and we don't know her. Yeah.
It's just brings me so much joy to be with you.
Oh, I know.
We're going to end it how I end all of these sessions. And this is called Vessels and Muses. These are cards from this incredible artist, Zoe. And they're, they're just like vibey cards of some people call them tarot cards, some people call them energy cards, anything you might I want to call them. But I love having everyone pick one and then we can read you what you're
Okay, I mean, I'll get like the death card or something. Oh, that must be like a rebirth. Boundless.
boundless.
Whoa, people.
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
let's read it.
Absolutely.
Here, maybe we'll on to that one.
You're gonna have to read it 'cause I'm exhausted.
No, I definitely read it.
Women of a certain age.
Oh, okay, let's do this. Ooh, you are infinite in communication with the universe. The capabilities of your wild soul are unlimited. If you're currently feeling stuck in one mindset or a way of being, may this card grant you permission to try on various roles and play. Like the wind moving through a lover's hair, you too are nature and life delights in you. You are wide as the ocean and as vast as the stars. You're only visiting here for a while, so put on that song that reminds you to move around. Smile and look up at the sky, knowing that you too contain the immeasurable possibilities of the universe. Thank you. Your journal prompt.
Yeah.
What can I do today to move beyond my self-imposed limitations?
Tell the truth.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for having me. This was the best.
That was
like the most fun part.
I know. It was so good. I love this.